I have no affiliate links or products to sell you. These are just the 5 supplements that I use that I feel are most effective. Ever wonder why you're low-key depressed during the winter? A couple of years back, I got my blood work done, and when it came back, it surprised the hell out of me. My vitamin D level was 18 nanograms per milliliter. According to JohnsHopkinsMedicine.org, the low range is 20 nanograms per milliliter. So no wonder my mood was kind of off during the winter time. The healthy range is 40 to 60 nanograms per milliliter. I live in the Northeast where the dark season starts in November and ends in May. Comment below if you can relate to that. I started supplementing with vitamin D3 at 5,000 IUs per day. It mimics the natural form of D3 produced by sunlight. Obviously, I wasn't getting any sunlight. Real quick, let me read this to you. This statement has not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. I read you that because even when I cite a study, everyone will say this supplement may improve this, that, or the other. So what I want you to understand is, although I have gotten good results from these supplements, when the studies are conducted, some people don't get those good results. So keep in mind, when I tell you a benefit, it may benefit in that way. You really need to understand that so that you don't get your hopes that this may be the holy grail to fix whatever your problem is. And coincidentally, before I even knew of Dr. Peter Attia, he recommends 5,000 IUs per day. He says due to the low risk of side effects and the moderate potential benefits. Call me crazy, but for 3 winters now, I have not had any seasonal depressive symptoms at all. Placebo, maybe. I don't care. I feel great now. But there's more benefits if you're into bodybuilding and fitness, which is probably what you're most interested in. Vitamin D helps you absorb calcium and phosphate from food, and that helps to improve bone and muscle strength, as well as immune function. So, sounds pretty important. It's fat soluble, so make sure you take it with a meal so that you can absorb it properly. But wait, there's more. Listen to the language. Studies show vitamin D could potentially reduce the accumulation of new fat cells and storage of fat cells. So if you're dieting, this could be helpful while you're trying to lean out. If you're like many people and you don't eat fatty fish 2 to 3 times a week, fish oil may be your next best friend. It's a convenient way to get your omega-3 fatty acids, EPA and DHA, and no, don't ask me to pronounce it. I like capsules, more convenient than oil, which some people do use oil. But seriously, there's myriad benefits to fish oil, especially if you're busting your ass in the gym. So according to the label, it's heart healthy, may reduce cholesterol, may reduce triglycerides, may reduce blood pressure, and may reduce the incidence of plaque formations in arteries, as well as reduce inflammation, help with joint lubrication, and support healthy skin. I do think that it helps with skin because my skin tends to be better when I take fish oil. Again, let me read you this from the label. Supportive but not conclusive research shows that consumption of EPA and DHA omega-3 fatty acids may reduce the risk of coronary heart disease. See nutrition information for total fat content. I read you this because what I want you to understand is these studies are not going to go out and say, yes. Hold on. They always stop short of saying this supplement will absolutely produce these results. They always say may or indicates, that type of language. So I'm just repeating this because I want you to understand that supplements are not magic. But most important, with better heart and circulatory function, you're going to get better pumps in the gym. According to American Dietary Guidelines, it recommends 6 ounces of fatty fish 2 times a week or 12 ounces total. It also recommends that you have 500 milligrams of EPA and DHEA per 1,000 milligram capsule. Read the label on whatever brand you use. Did you know this little supplement was banned by WADA, the World Anti-Doping Agency, from 1984 to 2004? What is this little supplement? Yes, caffeine. Of course, now it's legal again. The European Food and Safety Administration concluded that 400 milligrams is a safe daily dose without side effects for non-pregnant people. Benefits of caffeine to you. It stimulates the central nervous system for more focus. It improves endurance. You can train harder. You can train longer. If you're training harder, you're training longer, and you're eating in a caloric surplus, guess what? You're going to build more muscle. And If you're dieting, caffeine is a potent appetite suppressant. Trust me, I've used it many times during dieting. Moving on, creatine was first discovered in 1832 by the French scientist Michel Eugene Chevril. He did a simple experiment. He extracted it from meat. Today, it's synthesized in the lab in the form of creatine monohydrate. Creatine is the most science-based studied supplement proven effective for building muscle. How does it work if you don't know? It helps muscles produce more energy by increasing phosphocreatine stores. I'm keeping it real basic here, but this will increase the ATP, which will increase energy for high-intensity exercise. Of course, I'll refer you to one of Dr. Huberman's podcasts if you want to go super deep into the science on this. Something else I found interesting about creatine. They say it boosts proteins that increase the size of muscle fibers. I've never heard that one before. It can raise levels of IGF-1. Never heard that one before. IGF-1 is a potent hormone that increases muscle size. The one I'm most familiar with is it increases the water content of muscles, cell volumization. That's why people who start on creatine may gain 5 to 10 pounds rapidly. Women who take creatine and get that 5 to 10 pound gain get super discouraged and will discontinue creatine. But what's beautiful about that cell volumization is you begin to get these increased crazy pumps. But that's not all. The latest research indicates that it can improve brain function. Notice these words that I use in the language, indicates. It's not going all out and saying it absolutely does. It says it indicates. Keep that in mind when you're reading studies, and also understand that people have different biases depending on where they're coming from. If it's a commercially produced study or if it's just a random study that a scientist did, you got to understand where it's coming from. So it improves brain function by increasing ATP, which increases energy that you'll have when you're doing deep cognitive work. And it may also boost your mood by increasing dopamine and mitochondrial function. Whey protein. It promotes muscle growth by increasing the amount of leucine and other amino acids that are made available during protein synthesis. 20 to 30 grams is usually a serving. It's quickly digesting. That's why it's preferred in post-workout meals or shakes. And whey protein, or protein in general, is crucial when you're dieting because you want to preserve as much muscle as possible while you're trying to burn off that goo. There's 3 common types. Whey protein is the most common. It's the cheapest, but it has a lot of lactose in it. So if you're lactose intolerant, then you probably need to use the one that I use, which is an iso product, which still has a little bit of lactose, but it's filtered pretty good. But whey isolate is quite a bit more expensive. Then you have casein. Casein is a slow digesting protein, which for some reason it forms like into a little glob in your stomach, so it's slowly released. A lot of people like to use this as a night shake so that they're getting a release of amino acids throughout the night. Not as expensive as isolate, but more expensive than whey. Is this super controversial? A multivitamin? Some people say it's expensive urine. But you know what? The same people that say it's expensive urine, they have affiliate links and they have paid programming from guess who? Athletic Greens. So is Athletic Greens expensive urine too? I'm just saying, I'm not making any statement either way. Multivitamins are really important when you're on a diet, super calorie deficit, you're not eating a wide variety of foods, you're going to be deficient in some micronutrients. It's going to happen. I say a good multivitamin is just insurance, especially when you're on a strict diet. Power tip. There are another 10 to 20, who knows, 30 things that you can take. But unless you get your blood work and coordinate with your physician and see what he recommends, because he'll probably recommend, if you're deficient in something, a pharmaceutical dose that requires a prescription. But I recommend that you watch this next so that you can understand the anabolic window once and for all. And as always, thanks so much for watching.